Okay, hi everyone. We're almost ready to start, but before we do, if you have not yet downloaded the companion worksheet so you can follow the webinar, please pause to do this now. You will find it using the link that you see here. If you have the worksheet, checked your volume, and are comfortable, we'll go ahead and get started. Today we'd like to take this 10 minutes with you to open a much undervalued topic and share how easy it is to avoid this misstep and to leave you with an offer. So let me ask you, how many times have you shifted from one project to another just when you felt there was finally some real traction toward its goal? I can think of $500,000 project I was on that 2 years in had its plug pulled. It was a tremendous waste of resources and very disheartening for our team. But leadership hadn't gotten a consensus on or identified a sufficient ramp up time or break even point. They weren't seeing the results they each expected and were ready to move on to the next big thing. If we had vetted feasibility for the project and clearly identified those points, I'm confident it would have revealed where planning was short-sighted and where better strategy answers were needed from the start. So by the end of the time together today, you will have tips and insights to help you understand vetting feasibility and how to use our quick companion worksheet. Let me welcome you from the content team at Three Fronts. I am Susan Crawford, Chief Solution Designer and your host for this topic. As this is an on-demand webinar, it is available to you anytime from our website, threefronts.com. This topic, vetting feasibility, is from our knowledge group. We also focus on quality and process. And all this is pulled straight from best practices across my 5 project and quality certifications, as well as my almost 20 years of client experience. In my client projects, the single most frequent insight is being surprised by new needs or issues at mid-project that could have been anticipated before starting. What is vetting feasibility? How is it done? What should it ask? When is it done? So let me try to answer all those for you. Vetting feasibility is a strategic exercise that pauses the team to test the potential of a new business idea. It usually is conducted in the window between concept and planning to justify the investment in a new product, service, or business idea. This pause helps elevate a gut judgment call to a strategy-based business decision. Many best practices position a feasibility study as a deep dive into details. Here at Three Fronts, however, we agree with those minds that place a feasibility study as an early stage step to answer a few top strategic questions under a simple pass-fail test. So vetting feasibility does not need to be complex or drawn out. It just needs to be intentional. An early pass-fail can also solidify C-level support from your corporates, your chief of information, chief of marketing, that level of support, as well as save unproductive effort, as only a pass score warrants continued effort. Our worksheet walks you and your team through 7 yes/no questions in no particular order or priority, with 2 bonus questions. Most of these questions are self-explanatory, but we'd like to share some context and pointers as we review them with you. So, question number 1, does the project align with your strategic goals? This shows how intuitive the question should be, but actually you may find some surprises in your answers, so it's worth going through the question. How easy does this fit into what your business is already doing? Question number 2, does this project fit with your mission and complement your existing products. It's just asking again, is it something that complements what you already do, or are you going off into new landscape or a new market area? Just good things to think about. Question number 3. Does the project or need offer meaningful value to your customers? This ensures that your new business idea, product, or service remains customer-centric. It looks at your business drivers and helps you validate your customer needs that you think you're addressing, even looking at the features and attributes that you're thinking about for your product or service. Question number 4. Can the project or need be achieved and sustained with reasonable effort? This is asking you to look at the end-to-end lifespan of the service or the product. Where is your greatest return on investment, and where will that investment begin to diminish through the life of the product, and even how will you retire it and replace it when it's time to move on? It's also good to define among everyone what they consider reasonable effort so that you come to a consensus on reasonable effort. Question number 4. Can the product... Nope, we've already done 4. My apologies. We're going to look at 5. Can external marketing risks be strategically resolved? This is looking at how competitive your idea or product would be during its lifespan. How easy is it going to be for a competitor to come up with a similar product, and could they match what you're doing to the point where they take your customers away? Can your customers substitute your product for theirs easily? All right, question number 5, and we're going on to 6 then. Do you have a launch plan to bring development smoothly into operations? This, again, is a self-explanatory question, but we wanted to encourage you to seek input from people around you who have strengths in these areas. We don't see a feasibility exercise as being something you answer in isolation. The more input you get, the better your answers will be, as well as you will have fewer surprises as you continue to plan your project. So we've gone through 5 and we've gone through 6. I'm sorry the slides got messed up. And now we're going to look at 7 and go into the bonus questions. 7. Can we make this product or service ourselves and control features, reliability, and costs? This is typically what's called the buy or make question. And it's a very core question because if you can make it yourselves, you can control every aspect of it. But if the core component of your product cannot be made by you, you must outsource it, then in essence you're inviting a third-party vendor to become a business partner with you, and that should be a very thoughtful decision because of the complications about it. You're no longer controlling quality. You have no idea what the reliability is going to be. Really, you just have the risk end of it because the customers would complain to you. So you want to make sure you are willing to bring in a partner, as well as the next step would be developing the criteria for that partner so that you can sidestep most of those issues and both parties have a clear picture of what's expected from each other. So bonus question number 1 pretty much gets you thinking about the quality and the life cycle of the product and helps you put that light on it in the event that you decide to outsource it and some sort of a core component of it is coming from a vendor. You definitely want to be able to understand the life cycle and the quality. Looking at question number 2 is a lot of the same things. It's talking about the internal impacts and risks identified, and a third-party vendor would definitely be a risk. The foremost being, what if they go out of business? What happens to your product or service? What is your contingency plan? How much of a risk is it? And those are things that you can plan for, and then you're not surprised when they happen. It's just part of the scenario of doing business, and you can pick up your contingency plan and continue on. So another question we'd like to leave with you as an impact are the things like the training that needs to be involved, the training for customer service so that they can upsell the new product, the training for the staff so that they can handle the new processes, and even the training for your customers so that they understand how to get the most value out of your new product or service. So now we're looking at your answers and how to score your worksheet. We don't have a recommended scoring method because all results are unique, but we can share 2 ways to help validate your results. First, we believe that having more than 1 no across 3, 4, and 5 is a problem indicator. We also think that if you answered no to number 7, meaning can we make this ourselves, no, this should warrant a revisit as well for all the reasons that I've shared with you, just to ensure you have clear criteria and risk contingencies before embedding an outside third party into your core business. And we hope that your score says you have a passing score and you can move forward. So now for our offer. Because you've stayed with us today and shared your time on this topic, I would like to make the offer of being available to answer any email questions you might have. Please send them to me at the email address you see here, susan@threefronts.com, and I'd be glad to continue to help you, or you can learn more on our website, threefronts.com, where we do offer various consulting levels, or if you need some help with a particular project or getting vetting feasibility instituted for your organization, just mention this webinar and the project you are vetting, and we'd be glad to give you a free consultation. Thanks for being with us, and see you next time.